Hey everybody, Dalton Mack with Second Scout Training Solutions. We're going to talk quickly about holsters, what you need to expect from them, and what you deserve to know about holsters. Now, you see a bunch of advertisements. If you look anything up to do with guns on Facebook or YouTube, you will see lots of advertisements for holsters, and they all are obviously going to make their product sound great. I'm not naming any in particular. I'm just saying you're not going to sell something and say, this holster's dog shit. We don't want you to have it. Some people, you'll see advertisements that try that every now and then, reverse psychology stuff like this isn't for you. But realistically, some things aren't for you and you shouldn't want to buy them, and they are trash products. Now, I'm just going to go over some basic rules that you want to have for a pistol and your firearm, and your holster. So one of them being you want it to cover the trigger completely. You do not want to be able to get access to the trigger when you're drawing, or if a kid comes up and messes with it, or just a criminal comes up and is able to pull your cycle your firearm. You do not want that. Another one is you want it to be able to hold your firearm in a stable way that allows for you to move around, crawl around, or whatever you have to do, and maintain control of your pistol. With that being said, the next one is going to be you want to be able to access your pistol when you need it most. You don't want one of those big holsters that are made out of like weird fabric that the pistol almost sits completely down into or could fall into. You want to make sure it's sized for your firearm. So here in front of me, I've got a laser light training pistol, and I've got my IWI Masada. It is unloaded. Understand that the magazine is going to add weight to it, so it's only going to make this test more bad. So go in, see if you can test some out. I've asked multiple times, like places like Academy or small gun shops, hey, can I test out this holster? And they never have a problem with it. They'll just open it up, hand it to you. You can try it, and then put it back if you don't like it. You were absolutely able to do that in most places I've been to. So this pistol here, it's obviously significantly smaller than this pistol by probably about an inch. And the frame itself is just overall smaller. Already, different holsters will be needed. This is a universal holster. It could do everything. It really can't. It can barely do this. Remember those rules I talked about. Now, if you're looking at it from this side, you're thinking, Dalton, the trigger's covered. If you flip it this way, I can slide my finger in there with no effort, right? I can get to the trigger with no effort. I'm not pushing hard at all. We'll just give it a little push, and I'm in. Now, can it hold it? It's a little more wobbly than I would want it to be, but it's doing okay at holding it, right? It's doing okay. Now that's, running around and things like that. Again, it's a little more wobbly than I would want it to be nowadays, but I did used to run a holster very similar to this one. Now moving on, we'll put my pistol in here. The optic's going to stop it, but I have seen this in public where I could walk up to somebody and this thing fails immediately. I would say at least if it doesn't cover your trigger guard, automatic fail. For me nowadays, any of those things it doesn't do, automatic fail, but this is one of the worst ones because I can walk up to this person right now, and I have seen this, and go, boop, tag, you're it, and now we're all having a bad day. So I can very clearly get to it. Obviously, if I put this in here, it's not going to hold very well. If this were loaded, it would not hold hardly at all. Again, kind of holds this one. And this is a very light pistol, mind you. It's not heavy at all. It doesn't even weigh as much as a magazine. Give it the same shake, it falls out. Dalton, why do you beat your guns up? Because they're tools, and I don't have anything that I don't put through the ringer. Moving on to this holster. This is made specifically for this pistol. So, and another example would be, is it going to hold? Obviously not, because it's made specifically for this pistol. So make sure you're not getting something made for a specific model of firearm. Now, does it cover the trigger? In the same way that one does for this pistol, but again, with minimal effort, I can get into the trigger guard and start messing with the trigger, potentially. It would take some forceful effort, but you can. So we'll pull that out. Now we'll put this in. Now remember, this is cut specifically for this. That click means it's in. I cannot get to the trigger on any side of this firearm without taking it and stretching it, and then I can get to it. So we're not going to sit here and break stuff. You can do that with anything. Well, sure, he has a locked door, but I can blow it out and then go inside. Sure, but this, without any forceful effort it does not have the same effect as this does. Now I'll give it the same test. Lightly holding 2 fingers. Same shake test. It is meant for that. Whereas with this one, hear that difference? So, those are the differences in holsters. I wanted to make this kind of quick. Just understand, get a holster that's right for you. Don't buy a cheap holster. You don't put, you don't want to put your life in the hands of cheap stuff if you can help it. I understand budgets, but you can find holsters on a budget that fit. This holster is the last holster that I will likely ever buy for concealed carry with this firearm, unless I decide to add a light and get a holster that accommodates that. It was 60 bucks. I bought it over a year ago. I've had this holster probably about a year and a half now, and I don't even look for holsters for this pistol anymore. This is the only gun I carry. This is the only holster I need. But it's specifically cut for this pistol. Universal holsters are meant for many varieties of pistols, and they don't do any of them great. Just some food for thought. I'm going to go over those rules one more time. Covers the trigger, allows access. If you need it, it allows access to the firearm, and it's able to hold the pistol under normal shaking, moving around environments. A fourth note is comfort. You do not want to have an uncomfortable holster because you'll be taking it out of your waistband or off your hip day in and day out. Every time you're getting in and out of the car, you'll be taking it out. So throw comfort in there as well. And remember to buy it, try it, and then buy it. Ask if you can use things and test them out in the store. Most of the time they won't care. But at the end of the day, get what you can afford, make it a good choice, and train with it. Be safe, be educated, and remember, seconds count.